Oh, that's all Q ever wanted. He just wanted a big hug. Oh, come here, Q. I'm gonna give you a hug. Hello, and welcome to Enchantment of Eternity's review for Star Trek Dumpster Fire. I mean, Star Trek Picard, Season 2, Episode 10. Farewell, bye-bye, get the fuck out of here! Good riddance! Jesus Christ, I'm glad this is fucking over. Anyway, this video is part of a series of videos where I review episodes of Star Trek Picard. So to start with a spoiler warning for this fabulous finale. If you have wasted your freaking time watching this garbage and you've seen this episode, then God, we can revel in our pain together. But if you haven't, then you might not want to watch this video. Otherwise, this fabulous piece of art will be spoiled for you, and you wouldn't possibly want that. Anyway, so I think it's official that Star Trek Picard Season 2 is the worst season in the entire Star Trek franchise. Now, granted, I've said before, in fact, I rated the seasons and I put the 2 Enterprise seasons at the bottom. And then after that, it was the 2... No, after that was Voyager Season 3. I don't care what anyone says. That season's not mediocre. It's a giant ball of shit. And then after that was first 2 seasons of TNG. And I got a lot of comments, people saying, well, none of those seasons are anywhere near as bad as anything Discovery, Picard, or New Trek does. And I just, I'm like, no. Like, I got my issues with Discovery, and they are huge. There are a lot of issues with Discovery. It's a mixed bag, and so was Picard Season 1. And Lower Decks, less issues, but still some. So I disagreed. I was like, no, that's not the case. Like, I couldn't see episodes. When I did, like, worst episodes of franchise, like, ooh, every episode of Picard and every episode of Discovery is worse than these. I don't think so. Like, there's some bad episodes of Discovery, but really not that terrible. But now that opinion has changed with Picard Season 2. This is clearly, bar none, the worst season of the franchise. This is worse than the first 2 seasons. So Season 2 of Enterprise was my previous worst season. And that's terrible because it's boring. The scripts are not interesting. The characters are flat and uninteresting. The stories are things that are not very imaginative and things that we've seen over and over again. The characters are incompetent. The Vulcans are acting like dickheads when they shouldn't, and the Klingons are acting like morons, and yeah, it's just not very interesting. And it's trying to glorify the 50s and has like very blatant like sex appeal. Look at how sexy we are, and that doesn't work. And Archer tries to be like a badass, and they try to appeal to the kiddies with that cool pop song at the start of the show. But none of that beats out how fucking terrible season of Picard has topped that. I didn't think anything could top that for worst season of the entire franchise. Okay, so I said I was going to talk about this episode. I guess I will. I don't know. I suppose. So this episode just cements how fucking terrible this whole season is. So I want to go back and retroactively downgrade like all of my, especially the earlier episode reviews. And I'm going to downgrade my ratings because I didn't realize how terrible what they were leading to was going to be, and I think that affects it. It makes a difference. So episode 1, I think I gave it a 10 or a 9. That's a 6. Episode 2, I gave it like a 9 or an 8. That's a 4. Episode 3, I think I gave like a 6. That's a 3. Episode 4, I gave like a 5. No, that's a 1. It's a 1. And every episode after that's a 1. They're all fucking 1s. This season sucks. Alright, so in this episode, a lot of shit happens really fast. Like, they had taken the time, slow pace the season with all these pointless side plots that have nothing to do with nothing, and just throw these side plots at you, and they give not two shits about continuity of the timeline, and storylines pop up. Oh, Rio gets arrested by ICE. What does that have to do with anything? Nothing! It just fucking happens, and shit fucking happens, and Picard's reliving all his memories, and we see fucking Gaius Baltar be like, tell Picard, and what's that have to do with anything? Nothing! It has nothing to do with nothing! So, in this episode, they start with the chase to make sure Rene Picard gets on that Europa mission, because those are two things we totally care about. Like, they totally took the time to develop Rene Picard and make her a fleshed out character, and they totally took the time to make us interested in this Europa mission, and they totally took the time to really draw out Adam Soon's motivations to make him a realistic, dynamic character rather than a two-dimensional mustache twirling fucking twat. And then they totally took the time to resolve the plot. Like, they do it in like 2 whole minutes. Like, it just happens so fast in this fucking episode. You know, I was thinking, like, oh my god, they're gonna have to have a lot to resolve in the next episode, and they do most of it in the first 5 minutes. Anyway, because there's Adam Soon has these fucking drones that apparently gonna destroy the ship they're going to. Why does he get the super futuristic fucking technology in fucking 2024? What the fuck? Anyway, he had this like super shield in a previous episode, and he can like genetically engineer a whole person. Anyway, so Rios and fucking Raffi and 709 break into the house, and they try to get control of the drones, and they get them to shoot each other and blow up. And that, you know, that was totally interesting. I was totally fascinated by that scene. Anyway, and then after that, fucking Tanis, I remember her name. She's not Lars. She just so happens to look like Lars because the actor needed to work for this season, and because all of your ancestors look exactly like you. But anyway, so she comes up with this plan, of course, to she meets and talks to Renee, and apparently it's the plan that was hinted at so cryptically in the previous episode, that Renee needs to die in order to live. What does that mean? Well, apparently that means Tanis has the super technology to look, because she's like Gary 7. That's a really fascinating piece of the Star Trek universe that people really want to know more about. And so she has the technology to look like her, and she pretends to be her, and Adam Soon has the secret hidden virus because he's twirling his mustache. This virus is going to kill you. And it ends up being Tanis, and Picard is all sad. And like, oh no, you looked like the woman that I loved because I'm in love with your great-great-great-granddaughter. Can we bang now before you die? Anyway, I was so sad by that scene because I totally cared about these characters. Anyway, so after that... Oh, God. So after that, Q appears, and Q's like, well, Picard, I just wanted a hug. Like, what the hell is this shit with Q? Like, the whole, like, second episode that he appeared in, he was like, "Oh, Picard, this is penance," and he's like, really, really fucking pissed off at Picard. Like, he is mad, he is livid, and that's just because he wanted a hug. Why didn't you appreciate me, Jean-Luc? I love you, man. Why didn't you just give me a hug? Why was Q working so hard to make sure that Renee didn't go on the mission if his job was? And why did he hire Adam Soon to fucking kill her and Picard if his whole point was for Picard to get her? Like, he was just... I understand, like, trying to put obstacles in his way and to motivate him, but it seems like he was actively trying to, like, kill her and stop him, and I don't buy for a single solitary second that this was that this was his plan all along. It makes no sense. It makes no fucking sense. It doesn't make any sense. So Q's dying. He just wants Picard's respect, and he wants him to appreciate himself. So he kind of brings him back in time so he can put the key back for his younger self to find in the future that leads to the trauma that causes. So he wants Picard to be okay with his past and his self. And he, like, changed the timeline, actively tried to kill Renee Picard, and to create this fucked up future. Okay, so here's when my head really starts to hurt and really starts to spin. So Jurati of Borg was, we all predicted this all along, that she was the Borg we saw in the first episode. But she was only there because Q took her and Picard and all her friends back into the 21st century. But before they went, Jurati and Rios were there, but the Borg Jurati was still there, with the normal Jurati was there. And if Jurati of Borg changed the Borg, then how come that didn't change history? How come Best of Both Worlds and First Contact and all that still happened? Were they living outside of time? Because in the first episode they mentioned they were coming from a different, like, time reality. Is it just like a... Did they go to a different reality? Did this create a different reality to every world? No, obviously not, because Guinan's there at the end telling stories about Rios. So that wasn't a different timeline. That's their timeline. But why was Jurati of Borg already there before they even went back in time? Like, they're trying to play it off as if it's Type 1 time travel, but then they're also trying to turn it off like it's Type 2 time travel, because they're not sticking to they're not being consistent with time travel. Their time travel logic makes no fucking sense. But why am I surprised? Why would I be the least bit surprised? Why would I possibly think that they put an ounce, an inch of thought into creating this big ball of nonsense that's just there to look cool, to have fucking people sing musical numbers, and the items soon they're trying to kill them with drones, and fucking okay. Wesley Crusher pops up as the Traveler, and he's like acting just like from the Ready Room. He's like, "I'm Wesley Crusher." Wasn't that show awesome last week? I'm so pumped for the next episode of Picard. Anyway, I'm all for seeing Wesley Crusher as the Traveler. It's something I've wanted to see for a long time, and I wanted them to integrate it into Picard, but I also wanted it to be relevant and to make sense. And now he just pops up and saves not Soji, what Corey, I guess her name is. Again, another actress needed something to do this season. And makes her a Traveler? Why? What the hell is going on? Like, what's the point of that scene? Like, why does that exist? Why is, like, I'm the Traveler and we guide the threads of the universe and protect them? That's not what the Travelers do. They fucking travel! Ah! All right, I had enough. Oh, what else? Is there something else I want to talk about? The ending where Picard makes out with fucking Loris because he was attracted to her great grandmother, and now he's ready to screw her. God damn it. This is some of the worst writing, like this whole season is some of the worst writing I've ever seen in my life out of anything. Like Star Trek, not Star Trek, fucking Transformers, fucking He-Man, fucking Xena, Warrior Princess, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Like, this is the worst writing I've ever seen. It's so terrible. That's anyway, my rating for Goodbye Farewell, get the fuck out of my face, out of 10 it's a fucking 0. It's a 0. I said I would never cop out and do anything between outside of 1 and 10, but fuck this, fuck you, fuck this episode, fuck it so hard. You get a 0. You suck. You suck. This season sucks. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to check out my channel. It has a much nicer talking about Strange New Worlds, because what a great show. God damn it, what a I really needed to watch Strange New Worlds first before subjecting myself to this. I really never plan on watching this season again. I just really never. Anyway, check out my channel as I cover that great show, and I cover other great shows like Moon Knight and Better Call Saul. What an amazing show, Better Call Saul. I cover that weekly. You can check that out. God, good shows, and I'm so much happier. You can see me be happy in those videos. And, of course, I cover all sorts of Star Trek and Star Wars Rebels and Expanse, another amazing show. Such good shows. God, I need these good shows to cleanse my palate. Anyway, yes, thank you so much for watching, and be sure to subscribe so you can keep up with all that.